Yeah, I know this video is supposed to be about the Tallahassee mayor's race, which it is, and that's between Dailey and Dirksen, I believe. But I just had to get this out of the way one more time. Just when you thought it would never happen again. And I'm sure it's just gonna. But he's just really, the cliches are getting so cliched that he just might as well be a cliche. And on this side, he's got clean water, healthy green spaces. Sure, he does. And on this side, Corey Simon for state senate, a leader for our team. They, Republicans have a team. They, protecting our natural beauty. That's what he's doing. Something as important as protecting our environment needs to be a team effort. Well, what team? Which your team? Your team's not really great on environmental efforts. I know we can protect our local environment together. Together we can campaign. Together we can be champions for our environment. And he does put election day. Remember, election day is Tuesday, November the 8th. So for that, I'm really glad he did that. Oh, and the same thing on this one. We've got clean water, ensuring our communities always have clean drinking water. Wants to yeah. Parks and green spaces, maintaining our parks and boosting our quality of life. Well, who in the hell doesn't want that? Even Democrats want that. Corey. And then here's the kicker. Here's the thing that really got me about this one. And I've had this for several days, and it was obviously printed before the last hurricane that hit Bay County, or hit Lee County. We had one that hit Bay County a few years ago. Hurricane preparedness, harnessing our resiliency and preparing for future storms. Meanwhile, this is why, the DeSantis administration is suppressing people from going out to Sanibel Island, and you don't see hardly any reporting on it. Not in the state, not on the local TV. It's like all of a sudden, it just shut down. If people out there have seen, stuff, let me know, because boy, it sure is like crickets around here. So the other thing that Corey sent out is this whole thing about Lorraine Owsley and her, just rich tastes and all this kind of crap, and it's just BS. Lorraine Owsley's lives a pretty normal life. I mean, I'm sure she's, done pretty well for herself. And Corey Simon, he's a millionaire. Made it in football. I don't know that Lorraine Owsley is that rich, but she could be. She could be worth $1 million or $2 million. That's not that odd these days, is it? I mean, it's odd to me because I don't have shit really, but she has the kind of taste we can't afford. This is a woman whose son is, been undergoing treatment all his life for, I don't even want to get into talking about that because That shouldn't even be brought in. You know, they cropped the picture on this one too, because I don't know if it was because of me, but I made a crack about it. Just look at why are those two men holding up that woman? And anyway, let me get to. I just got the Corey Simon stuff out of the way because it seems all a bit ridiculous to me. But there's some more, and I'm sure there'll be some more. I have no doubt. So, on to the next, my main subject, which is the mayor of Tallahassee. 4 years ago, I believe it was, or 6 years ago, 4 years ago, we elected a guy named John Dailey. He seemed to be a decent fella, even though he was a Republican. People were convinced that he was a good guy. So a lot of people went along with it. A lot of Democrats went along with it. I didn't. I'm sorry, I don't trust them. But now I just don't think that they're the way they think about the world is a little bit challenging mentally, I think. So anyway, here's the first thing. He comes out with this. He sends people this. Ethics. Ethics. When it comes to ethics, Mayor John Dailey knows that actions speak louder than words. And then on this side, of course, they doctor this picture. She's just the sweetest, most normal kind of person that you would ever meet in person. If she was your next door neighbor, you wouldn't even think twice about her. And she's so not threatening. She's very unthreatening person. And her ethics, the only thing they're trying to dig up on her is some deal that she made. Here we go. Christian Dozier, long history of sketchy ethic choices. Really? There's no history of it. There's zero history of it. Dozier bought her home from a developer for $90,000 below market value. That is just a lie. That's just a lie. And then this contractor, I don't know, he went on to pretty much win a contract. Now, she's been on the city council for like 12 years. And before John Dailey was mayor, he was on the city council for not that long. And he's casting aspersions at his fellow city commissioner with no truth to back it up. There is zero. I went and looked at this deal, supposedly big deal, this developer that she bought the house from. The house was listed, and the house was listed as people do, pretty much way higher than the market value. She came in and they negotiated back and forth, and then finally the people that owned the house, not a developer, a person that owned this house, now he might have been a general contractor, but I don't think so. She bought the house for $11,000 less than they put it on the market for. That's it, period. End of story, end of conversation about her unethical purchase of her own home, which John Dailey's trying to turn into some kind of a, God forbid they start, that you get some angry Democrats like me, Mr. Dailey, that starts looking into your financial history, because I'm sure we could always find something to turn around and make it into something. Because that's all this is. This is just a. And it's really disappointing because we thought this guy was going to be a pretty good, decent guy. She only voted for projects that directly voted her family's construction business. Well, she came out of a construction family. I was a general contractor for many, many years of my life. Very hard business. So, I don't know that this John Dailey guy's ever done anything other than be kind of a fat guy with a baby face and this sucking his thumb. And now her campaign is coordinating with secret, dark money groups. This is all just Republican fabrications of it's just bullshit. It's total bullshit. It's like Biden lost the election kind of shit. You know, we all thought better of this guy. And if he hadn't have actually run ads like this and sent them directly to me, I probably wouldn't have gotten as deep into this as I did by looking at Mrs. Dozier's actual resume and time in office and all the things that she's done and voted for and voted against. And I can't find anything in there. There might have been one or two things as me as a Democrat. I might have said, well, I don't think we needed to spend money on this or money on that, but whatever, you know. If you think I think it's bettering the community. Okay, so here we got another one that he sent out. This is the house in question. This is the big developer house. This is a house that was bought from a developer? Really? A developer? A house that was 76 years old. So she must have gone back in time to do the deal with the developer. Does he even know? Do these people even know how, the development things usually work? A developer, somebody usually goes buys some land, puts up a couple of houses, and tries to con people into buying that house on a piece of lot that he owns, on a piece of land that he's turned into a lot. This is an old house, was bought in an old Tallahassee neighborhood that was up for sale, period. There weren't any developers involved. It's just a fucking lie. Sorry if there's any old people or that are offended by my language. I don't care, really. Yeah, here we go. More of the same. So it's a sweetheart deal of a house she got, $11,000 underneath what the owner was asking for. Just absurd. And, this whole thing is absurd. A waste of money. And the other thing I'm wondering is John Dailey paying for this? That's down here in the very final proof. Okay, so and one of his big pet peeves is that she sold the house in 2017 for $100,000 more than she paid for it. Well, I'm telling you this. My wife and I bought this house, my little $1,500 house, 1,500 square foot house, and I won't tell you how much we paid for it, but before the plague, we were playing with the idea of moving to New Mexico, which we never could pull off. Well, mainly because of the plague. And so anyway, at that time when we were trying to sell it, we backed out of the deal. We had some people just make us an offer the first day that we put it up for sale for almost $80,000 more than we paid for it. So we're like, hey, now we're looking at property in this neighborhood that's easily, we could easily get 120 or 30 or 40,000 more than we paid for this house right now, easily, in 1 or 2 days, just because of where it is. And God knows now there's all these people from from Lee County that have money that are looking for another place to live. Anyway, this is just, to me, this is just gross Republican bullshit. And there he is. There's the guy. Look at him. He's got that chubby Republican look. He looks just like a Republican. He's going to move Tallahassee forward. Tallahassees are sick and tired of politicians using their elected office for personal gain. Well, there you go. If you looked up personal gain, you'd see a picture of him. This guy has done so much to put money in his pocket over the last year. The whole stadium deal at FSU, this is him. And he's been in charge for, the last 4 years. So we're all sick and tired of politicians that are elected that are cheating. Okay, you're the one. You are the one. You've been elected and you're cheating. Morons. He promises he's going to clean the city up. Well, you've had 4 years to clean the city up. How come you haven't cleaned it up? You're going to get out there with Trump and vacuum the parks or something? He spearheaded comprehensive ethics reform. Passing the strongest ethics rules in the state. He's done no such thing. This is just a lie. How much longer are people going to take all these chubby Republicans lying constantly? Jesus, I don't mean to, I've been way overweight in my life, so I understand, but I didn't try to run for mayor. He's proud to run on his record, okay. He's excited to keep Tallahassee moving forward. So what's it going to be? You're sick and tired of you're the elected official. So are we supposed to be sick and tired of you? Or are we supposed to be glad that you're running on your record and we're supposed to be moving forward with you? Proposed and enacted $1 million in COVID relief grants for local small businesses. What a bunch of crap. It was just strictly done by the Biden administration. 100%. And, of course, another Republican taking credit for it. He's created more than 5,000 new jobs in the last year alone. He didn't create shit. There's no hiring of city employees or anything like that. There, people after the plague started going back to work. There's a really major shortage of like nurses here, people that want to work in fast food restaurants, and crap jobs. There's a shortage of people that want to do that because people are getting paid more money to have better jobs. And then it's nothing that he's created. Oh yeah, $850 million in private investment. Just another lie, a lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. You know, the whole thing with the depot, uh, um, Jeff Bezos' outfit, Amazon, that's supposed to be here, is a station. And I did it in one of my other videos. And it's a bunch of crap. And I'm done with them. Anyway, this whole thing really came to fruition when he in the city, he's the one who was in control of that $23 million that was supposed to go to the city of Tallahassee from the federal government to help, infrastructure, to help businesses along, blah, blah, blah. So, rather than taking that money and putting it into upgrading maybe poorer neighborhoods in Tallahassee that have potholes and sidewalk issues and, all kinds of things I can think of to do with that 23. No, they decided to put it in probably the most pristine, posh spot in Tallahassee, and that's the frickin' stadium for FSU. And that's where that $23 million went. That's it. So if you want your money to go to football instead of the regular folks, if you want your tax dollars that you pay in property taxes, like I do, I don't know what ours is this year, but it's probably up there like $1,800 or something. Not to mention our state taxes we pay and consumer taxes. People say Florida doesn't have taxes. Oh, we have taxes up the butt. It's just on cigarettes and alcohol and food and whatever else. You can't spin around without paying 2 cents for something. That's how they get around that state tax. So yeah, I'm for Dozier. I'm not for the John Dailey, obviously. So, I hope people, and I hate to say do your own research because that's such a bullshit line, but it's not that hard to actually look up stuff like Christine Dozier. She has the whole deal. The reason I know so much about that property deal is because on her website, it's right there in the front. You can click on it, look at it. You can see the whole deal, all the paperwork, everything. There was no developer. There was no anything. And yeah, she got lucky in just the way the market went. Maybe she made $100,000 on a really funky old house. And being the contractor that she is, they went into this house that needed quite a bit of work and did a lot of work because she's from a construction family. Now, I don't know how many times I've done that in my life. Bought a crappy old house and fixed it up and made a little bit of money on selling it. Well, I do know how many times I've done it, about 4 times. If I ever sell this house, it'll be the 5th time. So, isn't that the American way? Isn't that capitalism? The way he wants to spend. So I'm going to spend the next 30 days or so. I'm going to be looking up John Dailey everything. I haven't started yet. I spent a bunch of time looking up Kristen Dozier because I hoping I'm saying her name right, because of his negative ads. If he had not made a bunch of negative ads, I would not have made this video. But same reason I'm jumping on that Corey Bush dude, you know, or not Corey Bush, Corey Simon, the fat lineman, the huge giant lineman. They run such negative ads against their opponents. I guess that's the Republican way. Let's don't run on actual real issues. Let's just throw out these superlatives and these dramatic one-liners and hope that everybody's stupid enough to, the stupid people are going to be stupid enough. That's the sad truth of it. Oh well. I gotta go now. Adios and buenos dias.